Yo, 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 what's up, fellas? What's up? Let's make sure this is all good. Okay, we're good there. All right, what's up, baby? What's up? We got week 5 Monday Night Football tonight. We got another Showdown slate to break down. You guys know for the next 30 to 45 minutes, we're just going to talk through tonight's slate, answer any questions you have. Whether that's lineup-specific questions, whatever it may be, we're just going to kind of have a little Q&A sesh for the next 30 minutes or so. But I appreciate you guys being here as always. What's up, Odufa? What's up, Suave? See, you guys had a good week 5. Hey, I mean, my week 5 went pretty decent. I was able to profit, on the main slate yesterday. I did 150 lineups in the big $1 million tournament on Yahoo again, and I was able to come out profitable. I almost doubled up my money. So anytime you can do that, I mean, that's always good. Obviously, when you're playing 150 lineups in a large field tournament, you're trying to win first place. That's really the goal. But when you have days like I did yesterday where you can double up your money, you take those days and then you move on to next week. I just didn't have enough of, I had exposure to, Justin Herbert and Mike Williams in that Chargers-Browns game, but I didn't have enough exposure to it. That was really my one, that's what kept me from having, any first-place finishes. But I think my best lineup in that tournament finished, 40th or something. So I had a shot there at the end, but I was able to come out profitable, so we'll take it. Ready to win some money? Hey, let's get it, baby. Let's get it. Which value pick you like tonight below 2K? I mean, I would say if you're going that cheap, it's got to be Tyson Williams. The big news that we got earlier this afternoon was that Le'Veon Bell is going to be inactive tonight. So in case you didn't see that already, I posted something on Twitter about it, or I retweeted something on Twitter. I'll show you guys real quick. So let me pull this up. But we got word that Le'Veon Bell was demoted back to the practice squad. He's going to be inactive tonight, and then that makes me assume that Tyson Williams will be active since Le'Veon Bell's not going to be active. So Tyson Williams is basically going to be the backup running back tonight, and he's $1,200 on Draftkings. But here's the tweet I had earlier. Let me see if I can find it. So this is a tweet from Jamison Hensley, who I think is a reporter for the he's a reporter for the Ravens or something, I don't know, but he's verified. He's obviously a legit reporter. Ravens did not elevate running back Le'Veon Bell off practice squad. Baltimore's 3 running backs versus the Colts tonight will be Latavius Murray, Tyson Williams, and Devontae Freeman. So, yeah, that pretty much means that Tyson Williams is going to be the backup running back tonight. He's $1,200. He's probably my favorite punt value play. We don't have much good value on this slate. A lot of the cheap options are kind of just, you're not going to feel great about some of these guys, but I definitely have interest in Tyson Williams now. With the projections I use, he's projected for, I think, 6 DraftKings points, which obviously is not a lot, but it's good enough when you're that cheap. He's projecting the best out of everyone, below the kickers. Tyson Williams is the best value below the kickers. He's projecting the best out of everyone. So, yeah, he's the guy that I would like most as a punt option. My best guess is that they're going to still, use Latavius Murray as the number 1, but we probably get 7 to 10 carries for Tyson Williams, and then maybe he gets a few receptions. They've shown no incline to give Latavius Murray any pass game usage. Latavius Murray has yet to be targeted this season. He's got 0 receptions and 0 targets. So I think we'll see Tyson Williams at least involved in the passing game a little bit. Maybe third downs he'll be on the field. He's been involved in the passing game before when he's been active. So he's definitely a good value in my opinion. I'm all in on Brown, Jackson, Watkins. Don't know my last 3 yet. All 3 of those guys, Hollywood Brown, Lamar Jackson, Sammy Watkins, all in play for me, for sure. FanDuel has Williams at 10,000. If I remember correctly, that's pretty high. If I remember how FanDuel salaries work for a single game. Yeah, I don't think I'd be playing Tyson Williams at that price. But on DraftKings, yeah, if you play DraftKings, Tyson Williams is definitely a punt value worth considering. Defense is in play, especially Baltimore. I think on this slate, Baltimore's defense is a fine value play. They're not that expensive. They're only $4,400. Carson Wentz will take sacks. He'll turn the ball over. I expect it to be a good game script for the Ravens defense. I expect the Colts to be throwing a lot. And obviously when a team is throwing, it's a lot more likely you're going to be able to get interceptions, sacks, pick sixes. So I think the Ravens defense is fine. If you play a defense, you're basically hoping for, one, they get a touchdown, or they just force a lot of sacks, get a lot of interceptions or something. But those things can always happen. It's just defense is just so hard to predict when a defense is going to have a big game. Yeah, Miles Boykin got activated. He's super cheap as well. He's a stone minimum on DraftKings. He's $200. The only issue I have is that, or the only concern I guess, is I don't really know how much Miles Boykin plays tonight. He was kind of their like wide receiver 3 last year, but now they have Sammy Watkins. You know, Hollywood Brown's playing really well. Devin Duvernay's been all right as their wide receiver 3. Like, I just don't know how much they're going to use Miles Boykin, especially since it's his first game off the IR. He might be eased in. Maybe he gets like 3 or 4 targets, but that's just a guess. There's not really anyone else that's playable down here besides Tyson Williams. So if you're looking for some really cheap options, if you're trying to jam in like all the studs at the top, I mean, yeah, I guess you could play Miles Boykin in that case. We talked about Rashad Bateman in the video last night, but obviously Rashad Bateman not active for this game. Jonathan Taylor, a good play. I mean, Jonathan Taylor is going to get opportunity. He's expensive, though, and it's not a good matchup against Baltimore. It's a bad game script. You know, I think the Colts are going to be playing from behind, which doesn't really favor Jonathan Taylor. You know, he's more like their... Whenever the Colts are playing with a lead, that's when Jonathan Taylor really thrives. Whenever they're playing from behind, you know, we see a lot of Nyheim Hines. So I think, you know, in a game like this, Jonathan Taylor's probably not the best pay-up option, but he should be low-owned. I mean, right now his ownership, let's see what it's at. His total ownership is 49% with 9% at captain. I don't think he's going to be that high. I think everyone else, like, I think if people are paying up, they're going to play the quarterbacks. They're going to play Michael Pittman. I don't see Jonathan Taylor getting much ownership. But in order for Jonathan Taylor to have like a ceiling game tonight, you're probably going to need him to get like a couple goal line touchdowns, because I just don't think he's going to be very efficient in this matchup. And I don't know if the touches are going to be there either. Like, he's not playing a ton of snaps. I mean, they're using Nyheim Hines a lot. They used Marlon Mack a good amount last week. Jonathan Taylor only played, let me see. Yeah, he only played 51% of the snaps last week. 48% the week before. Like, he's playing like 50% of the snaps, which is not great for a, you know, for a running back that expensive. If you're paying that much for a running back, you want them to be like a true workhorse, and that's just not the case with Jonathan Taylor right now. Hey, Noah, thanks for all that you do for us. I appreciate you. Hey, sure thing, LeVar. Sure thing, my man. Prochet, I mean, yeah, Prochet, again, like, I don't know. I mean, he's 1K, but now that Miles Boykin's active, like, does Prochet play as much as he's been playing? So far, like, these last few weeks, he's played 22% of the snaps, 33% of the snaps last week. I think his playing time probably takes a little bit of a hit. I don't think I'm going to play Prochet. I'd probably just rather go to Tyson Williams, or just go all the way down to Boykin, honestly. Which is the better trio? Pittman, Tyson Williams, and Justin Tucker, or Hines, Watkins, and Williams? So basically Pittman and Tucker, or Hines and Watkins. I think I'd take Hines and Watkins there, but that's definitely close. What's good, Noah? What do you think about Pittman and captain? I think Pittman's a pretty good captain play. I mean, I don't think he's going to get much ownership at captain. Right now, his projected ownership in the captain spot is 5.3%. That's pretty low for someone that's getting the amount of opportunity that Michael Pittman's getting right now. He's getting, like, massive volume. I mean, 32 targets the last 3 games. The Colts are going to be playing from behind, most likely. In this game, there's going to be opportunity for Michael Pittman. He has yet to score a touchdown this season, which is going to turn around at some point. Eventually, with how much opportunity Pittman's getting, he's going to find the end zone. So, yeah, with the dude that, you know, anytime a receiver is getting 8, 10, 12 targets a game, yeah, they're a good play at captain. And although the box score isn't great for Michael Pittman, you got to look more at the targets. He's getting the opportunity. It's only a matter of time before he, you know, finds the end zone, puts up a big game with how much opportunity he's getting. Boykin's played all last year, was terrible. Yeah, dude, I remember playing Boykin a lot last year, like on Showdown slates. Like, anytime the Ravens would be on a Showdown slate last year, it was like, oh, man, do I play Miles Boykin and hope he scores me a touchdown? Man, I hate, that's the one thing I hate about these freaking Showdown slates, man. It's like, these receivers that I would never be playing on a main slate, like Devin Duvernay and Paris Campbell, like, I would never be playing these guys on a Sunday main slate. But, like, on Showdown, I mean, you have to consider them, because you have to. I mean, there's no other options. Marlon Mack, a good punt play. I mean, Marlon Mack got like 10 carries last week, but I really have no idea if that happens again. He was inactive week 1, he was inactive week 3, and then he's played weeks 2 and 4. If we can confirm that he's active for this game, I mean, I guess he's worth a flyer because he's so cheap. But like, it's not a guarantee that he gets anywhere near the amount of touches he got last week. I mean, there's a good chance that Marlon Mack doesn't even step on the field. I mean, we just don't know. It's been so weird. Like, he played weeks 2 and 4, and then weeks 1 and 3, he didn't step on the field. So, I mean, I have no idea. He's super risky. But if you want to take that risk in a large field tournament, he's going to be low owned, I'd assume. Yeah, go ahead. Ravens D or Tucker. I mean, I'll probably take, or Mo Alley Cox, Ravens D, or Justin Tucker. I'd probably take Justin Tucker, honestly. I don't really like playing kickers that often, but on this slate, man, the value's so, like, just so thin. I think playing kickers is totally fine tonight. Thoughts on Doyle? Jack Doyle, I don't think is going to be someone I'd go to. You know, his snaps went down last week. They've been playing Mo Alley Cox a lot more than they have been playing Doyle. Like, Doyle only played 30% of the snaps last week, 57% the week before that. Mo Alley Cox, though, his snap percentage has been going up. He played 46% week 3. He played 69% of the snaps last week. It seems like Mo Alley Cox is kind of the number 1 tight end for the Colts right now. So, I just don't know if I have much interest in Doyle. Doyle, I mean, he's one of those guys, man. He's touchdown or bust. If Jack Doyle doesn't catch a touchdown tonight, he's probably going to score like 5 Draftkings points, if that. You're hoping for a touchdown. That's pretty much it. That's all I can say about Jack Doyle. Duvernay, Prochet, or Boykin? I mean, I'd go Duvernay there if you have the salary. Is fading Carson Wentz a good idea? I mean, I don't think I'd be fading Carson Wentz. Normally, quarterbacks are going to be some of the best options on these slates. Like, on Showdown, man, quarterbacks are always going to project really well. They're always going to be some of the top projected options. I know Carson Wentz has not been great this year, but he's still the second highest projected player on the slate behind Lamar Jackson. So, I mean, quarterbacks, I usually always play both quarterbacks on Showdown. It's not often that I just say, no, I'm not playing a quarterback tonight. Like, normally quarterbacks are going to be like staples of my lineups for Showdown. Will you be playing the Millie Maker tonight? How many lineups have you do? Probably not. And if I do play the Millie, it'll just be like one lineup. I don't play very heavy on Showdown. I've said that so many times. Showdown, I just kind of play for fun. If anything, most of my action for these slates goes on prize picks. I would rather be betting on player props and stuff than playing Showdown. Showdown, man, there's just so much variance. If you're not splitting first on Showdown slates, you're probably going to be losing money long term. Especially if you're playing 150 lineups. Like, if you play 150 lineups in the Millie Maker tonight and you don't split first, you're probably going to lose money. That's just how these Showdown slate goes. So, no, I don't play the Millie Maker. Leave a like, guys. Yeah, leave a like, fellas. Leave a like. Appreciate all y'all being here as always. Any thoughts on using the defenses in this game? I think the Ravens defense is fine. If you want to play them, I don't think I'd be going to the Colts defense, though. But there's probably some other values I'd rather play over the Ravens. Like, I think I'd rather play the kickers over the defenses, honestly. What's up, Noah? So excited for the game tonight, and great to see you again. Who are your locks for tonight? I mean, I wouldn't say there's no locks for tonight, except maybe Lamar Jackson. I mean, there's never locks in DFS. A player is never guaranteed to do well. But if you had to tell, like, on this slate, I mean, the closest thing to a lock is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson projects for 25.6 Draftkings points. The next highest player is Carson Wentz, who projects for 14.5. So that just shows you like how much better Lamar is than anyone else on this slate in terms of projection. Pascal over Pittman. Baltimore's no good versus the slot. I mean, I would prefer Michael Pittman. I think Michael Pittman's just getting all the opportunity. He's getting the targets. He's the #1 receiver for the Colts. I don't really look into like wide receiver cornerback matchups, but if you want to factor that in, if that wants to be your deciding factor, then yeah, go Pascal, I guess. But I would prefer Pittman. Any news on Bateman? Bateman's not going to be active. He's out. They said he might be playing next week, but he's not going to play tonight. Favorite prize picks? I like Lamar's rushing over 66.5. I did not take that. Lamar's rushing yards. I think I saw it a little bit lower than what it is now. Let me refresh. Hold up. Yeah, it's at 66.5. I mean, I didn't touch that personally, but a couple of picks I like. Some of the ones I gave out in my video yesterday are still good. Like, they haven't moved. I like over on both quarterbacks in this game. Lamar obviously is great. He projects for 25.6 fantasy points. Currently, Prize Picks only has him for 22, so I like the over on Lamar. And then Carson Wentz, the projection for this feels pretty accurate, but I'm kind of just siding with the fact that I think the Colts are going to be playing from behind. They're going to be throwing a lot. Carson Wentz, to go over this projection, only needs to throw for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he's going to go over this projection. So I like over on both quarterbacks if you want to take those. And then another one I gave out in my video last night was Sammy Watkins, his over, 40.5 receiving yards. The line still hasn't moved yet. Sammy Watkins has gone over this number in every single game this year. You look at his receiving yards, 96, 44, 68, 49. He's gone over this in every single game. He's getting consistent volume every week. So, yeah, these are 3 picks I like for Prize Picks. If you want to use these, or, you can make some for yourself. But if you guys haven't signed up for Prize Picks yet, I know a large majority of you already have. But if you want to sign up for them, check them out. Use promo code NOAH when you sign up over on Prize Picks. And, again, you can see everything they have to offer. And you can go make some picks for yourself tonight. Most of my money on this slate is over on Prize Picks, just to be honest with you. Prize Picks keeps emailing me promotions and I can't play. Well, I would say, yeah, I would try and fix that, I guess. Just, block them. I mean, that's got to be annoying. Prize Picks, man, they need to get with the times. I don't know why they're not legal in some states, but hopefully they can change that soon. Luckily, they're legal in South Carolina, so I can play there at least. Would you take a chance on I don't even know who that is. Is that even a real person? Kalen Granson? Yeah, no shot. I mean, I literally don't even know who this guy is. Let me look at his playing time. So he played 9% of the snaps week 1, 9% in week 2, 20% in week 3, and then last week he played 42% of the snaps. But I would assume he's more of a blocking tight end. I mean, I don't know how many routes he's been running, but yeah, I don't have any interest in Kalen Granson. I didn't even know this was a real player. What's Pascal's ownership versus Pittman? So for total ownership, captain plus flex, Michael Pittman's coming in at 36.6% total ownership. Zach Pascal's coming in at 19.2% total ownership. That's captain plus flex. How do you feel about Andrews? I think Andrews is a really good option in the mid-range. Mark Andrews is definitely too cheap on DraftKings. And he's another guy that, the game log this year, it's not great. But it's only a matter of time before we get one of those 2 touchdown games from Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews had, I don't know how many touchdowns he scored last year, but he was definitely a red zone machine. In the red zone, they always targeted him. He was always a threat to score a touchdown in the red zone. And so far this year, he hasn't found the end zone once. But that's going to change at some point. There's definitely some good touchdown regression coming from Mark Andrews. He just gets so much opportunities on the field so much. He's going to get targets. It's only a matter of time before, Mark Andrews finds the end zone. So he's a good play for sure. Definitely too cheap on DK at 6,600. Do you play both quarterbacks in Showdown? Yeah, Matthew, I tend to always play both quarterbacks. It's going to be slate dependent, but normally the quarterbacks are going to be 2 of the highest projected options. They're going to be 2 of the best, safest plays, I would say, just in terms of raw projection. Any Paris Campbell love? I mean, I think Paris Campbell's fine if you're looking for a cheap value. He's not projected for many points. He's only projected for 5 DK points, but he is super cheap. The last few weeks in terms of his snaps, he played 80% of the snaps in week 3. He only played 44% last week, but he's kind of the wide receiver 3 for the Colts. He'll probably get 4 to 5 targets. So 3,800. If you want to go to Paris Campbell, I think he's fine. I don't feel great about him, but again, he's cheap and the value on this slate's not that great. So I think Paris Campbell's fine. Can you play both Pascal and Pittman? I mean, yeah, you could do that. I would say that if you are doing that, you're definitely going to want to play Carson Wentz. Because if you're assuming that Pascal and Pittman are both in the winning lineup, that probably means that Carson Wentz, is also in the winning lineup. You like Latavius Murray tonight? I wish Latavius Murray was cheaper at his price point. I don't love him. I think he's going to get a good amount of opportunity. I think he's going to get 12 to 15 carries. But he's gotten no usage in the passing game at all. He's not been targeted all season. He's going to either going to need to be really efficient on the ground, or he's going to need to score a touchdown. Because if he doesn't do that, he's probably going to score less than 10 DraftKings points. The only way that Latavius Murray gets double-digit DK points tonight is if he scores a touchdown or he goes for over 100 yards, which is pretty unlikely. So you're basically hoping for a touchdown if you play Latavius Murray. At 7,400, I think there's other guys. Like, I'd rather play Mark Andrews for cheaper. You think Pittman goes over the 50 receiving yards tonight? That is a prop that I do like on Prize Picks that I took earlier. So, yeah, I like over receiving yards from Michael Pittman. On Prize Picks, his receiving yards still at 53.5, so I do like that over. I don't know what it is at other sports books or whatever. But, I mean, he's gone over this receiving yard prop in, I think, 3 of their 4 games. And, again, he's getting so many targets. Yeah, he's gone over this number in 3 of their 4 games. So, I like most of the overs on Michael Pittman tonight, whether you want to do fantasy point over or his receiving yard over. Or even receptions. You could do that too. What are both Indy running backs' ownerships? If you're asking for Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines, Jonathan Taylor, his total ownership is currently projected for 49.9%, so about 50% total ownership, captain plus flex. Nyheim Hines' total ownership is 26.8%, so it's about half of what Taylor is. I mean, this is definitely a good game script for Nyheim Hines. Like, this does feel like one of those games where Nyheim Hines is going to be used a lot just because, you know, he's their pass-catching back. It's a game where the Colts are probably going to be playing from behind. We could see, you know, 6, 8 targets for Nyheim Hines tonight. I wish he was a little bit cheaper, but I think Hines is definitely playable. I wish he was like 4K. 5,600, man, that's expensive. You're going to need like 6 catches or he's going to need to find the end zone to pay off that price. How are you looking to build your lineup? It's so tough because there's no little value, but also feel like you got to get both QBs in. I mean, there's definitely value. Some of the value on this slate you're not going to feel good about, but like Sammy Watkins, Hines, one of the kickers. We talked about Tyson Williams. I think Tyson Williams is going to be the backup running back tonight. He should be. He's only $1,200, so he's someone I like for value. None of these guys you feel great about, but there's definitely plays down here that you can go to. I mean, if you play Tyson Williams in your lineup, that's going to open up a lot of salary to get both quarterbacks in if you want to go that route. Better play Colts wide receivers or Ravens wide receivers? I mean, the Ravens probably are likely to score more points, so, you know, I would definitely be playing Marquise Brown and Mark Andrews over Michael Pittman and Zach Pascal, like between those two. I also think, you know, if I was playing 150 lineups, there's a good chance I would play Lamar in every single lineup. And if I'm playing Lamar in all my lineups, I'm going to have, you know, exposure to his pass catchers. Pittman over 53.5 yards. Yeah, I would take that. I would take that for sure. What ownership percent for Jackson at captain? Lamar Jackson's percentage in terms of captain ownership is right now 34.2%. 34.2% projected captain ownership for Lamar Jackson tonight. Very, very high, but again, it's also very likely that he's the winning captain by the end of the night when it's all said and done. Give me a value play, please, sir. I think my favorite value on this slate is Tyson Williams. Again, Le'Veon Bell's not going to be active. He's already, like they've already said, he's on the practice squad. He's not going to play. So with Le'Veon Bell not playing, I assume Tyson Williams will be the backup running back behind Latavius Murray. He probably gets like 7 to 10 touches, and he's $1,200. I mean, the value's not great tonight, but I'm definitely looking at someone like him. I mean, if he gets 7 to 10 touches, you could easily see Tyson Williams score 7, 8 DraftKings points, and that could be good enough to be in the winning lineup, depending on, you know, how everything else shakes out. I love Hines over 8.5 fantasy points on Prize Picks. What about you? Let's see what his projection is. Prize Picks is, they are like full PPR, so I would say that's definitely good for Hines. Obviously, Hines catches passes, so you're going to want the full PPR. Right now, he's projected for 8.4 fantasy points, so that projection is really accurate. But if I had to lean there, Colton, I probably would take the over. I mean, Hines, for him to go over that projection, he's probably going to need like to get 4 or 5 catches, which in this type of game where they're playing from behind, it's probably going to be likely that he gets that opportunity. It's just a matter of, you know, if he gets the catches or not. But he's going to be on the field a good amount, I would say, especially late in the game in the second half if they are trailing. So, thoughts on this as of now? Captain Lamar with Andrews, Campbell, Duvernay, Hines, Wentz. I think that's pretty fine. I think that's fine, Dylan. I would probably play like Tyson Williams over Campbell and then upgrade Duvernay or something, but that's still a fine lineup. Percentage for Andrews at captain. Right now, Mark Andrews' projected ownership at captain is, let's see. His captain ownership is 8.7. 8.7. Right now, he's got the third highest projected ownership at captain behind Jonathan Taylor. Mark Andrews does. Favorite way to get different tonight? I mean, the easiest way to get different is just don't play Lamar Jackson, but obviously that's not the smartest way. I mean, if you don't play Lamar Jackson, you're basically hoping that he gets injured. But that's the most simple way I could say to get different. Just don't play Lamar. But I think maybe there's some guys that have upside that are projecting for low ownership at captain. Like, I think obviously don't play Lamar at captain. That's another good way to get different. Lamar is gonna be, he's the highest projected player on the slate. He's probably gonna be the highest scoring player overall. But there could be someone for cheaper that scores close to what Lamar does and winds up being a better captain play overall. So like a Michael Pittman. Like if Michael Pittman gets 110 yards and a touchdown tonight, he could definitely be a better captain play than Lamar Jackson. And it's totally possible that happens. So like a Michael Pittman, really any of these receivers. Michael Pittman, Zach Pascal, Andrews. Like even like a Sammy Watkins I think is a fine captain play. But I would say, probably don't play Lamar at captain. That's a good way to get different because he's projected for 34.2% captain ownership. Best leverage play? I mean, I would say a good leverage play is probably, you're going to want to leverage off of Lamar. The best way to do that, if Lamar has a bad game tonight, it probably means that either one, he's not throwing many touchdowns or he's not running in any touchdowns. Like Latavius Murray is probably the best way to get leverage because if Lamar somehow fails tonight, it's going to be because Latavius Murray has 2 rushing touchdowns. So that's probably a good way to get leverage is to play Latavius Murray. And Latavius Murray is not projected for that much ownership, below 30%. And I guess you could play Lamar and Latavius together if you wanted to. Lamar could have a floor game tonight. Lamar could score 15 DK points and still be in the winning lineup. It's totally possible. It's just probably likely that he's not in the winning lineup at captain if that happens. Is it a good idea to put Carson Wentz and the Ravens defense on the same lineup? I mean, that's something you could do. In order for the Ravens defense to be in the winning lineup, they're probably going to need a pick six. Carson Wentz could throw 3 touchdowns tonight and throw a pick six as well. And if that happens, then Carson Wentz will probably be in the winning lineup and so will the Ravens defense. So yeah, if you're playing Carson Wentz and the Ravens defense together, you're probably just hoping for a pick six. I mean, anytime you play a defense, you're hoping for a defensive touchdown. Is Bateman playing tonight? He is not. Bateman's inactive. I wish you played the primetime 2-game slates. I need some guidance sometimes. Hop on the primetime slate. I mean, I'm always here to answer questions if you have questions for the primetime slate, but I don't really play those anymore. I used to play the primetime slates, but now Showdown's just taken over. I mean, Draftkings, really all the sites, they put all their money into Showdown. You look at the contest for the primetime slates, there's no big contest. Nobody plays those, really. And to make content on the primetime slates, basically just, yeah, it doesn't make any sense because nobody's going to watch it. Everyone focuses on Showdown now. But I do remember the good old days before Showdown when primetime was the only way to play these slates. If you wanted to get action on the game, you had to play the Sunday, Monday, or Monday, Thursday slate because there was no single game back then. Do you do any PGA content? I do not, Robbie. I do play PGA DFS, not regularly, but I do kind of dabble. But I don't cover PGA. I don't give out any advice. I just kind of play for fun. Debating over 0.5 rushing touchdowns for Lamar. I mean, yeah, that's one of those things, man. I don't really have a strong lean there. I mean, Lamar's gotten a rushing touchdown. He's got 2 rushing touchdowns this year, and they both came in the same game. Lamar's always a threat to get a rushing touchdown any game, but I don't really have a strong lean there. Lamar at captain with Andrews, Pittman, Wentz, and Williams have 1 slot left. Tucker or Campbell? I would probably take Tucker, Dylan. But that's a pretty solid lineup, I think. I think that will be, I think that'll be a highly duplicated lineup, so I think a lot of people are going to have that lineup as well. So, if you're playing that in the Millie Maker, maybe maybe don't play that lineup. But if that's like for single entry or something, or cash games, or a small field tournament, yeah, that's fine. Percentage for Pascal in the flex at captain. Let's see. Total ownership for Pascal is, his total ownership is 19.2%. His projected ownership at captain is 2%. So Zach Pascal is expected to be fairly low owned. So again, that's someone that you could use at captain just for for the low ownership. Zach Pascal could catch 2 touchdowns tonight. I mean, he's had a game this year where he caught 2 touchdowns. And if Zach Pascal catches 2 touchdowns, it's probably likely he'll be in the winning lineup. So, like, that's another guy you can play at captain for low ownership. You don't have to play like a Lamar at captain. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up the stream here. I think we've answered, just about everybody's questions, talked through everything. I want to make sure I didn't miss on anything in terms of inactives. Let's see. Okay, so Tyson Williams is officially active, so he's at least he's gonna dress. We don't know if Tyson Williams is gonna actually be on the field, but he's active for this game, so that I wanted to confirm that. But I think Tyson Williams is gonna get like 7 to 10 touches. I think he's gonna be the backup running back behind Murray. So I do like Tyson Williams a good amount for value now. Now that we know he's like officially active. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up the stream here. Good luck tonight, fellas. Hope you guys enjoyed the game, and, we'll see you Thursday for Thursday Night Football. Obviously, I'll have, content throughout the week covering Thursday Night Football. I'll have stuff up for the main slate as well, first look, final look, all that good stuff. But I'll see you guys Thursday night for Thursday Night Football. Good luck tonight, fellas.